But I will tell you, watching Shedeur, I said it last week, I'll say it again, it reminds me of the Colorado Shedeur. But I think my take is on Shedeur, he's good enough to start in the league, isn't he?
In a stunning reversal that nobody saw coming, Colin Cowherd has completely changed his tune on Shedeur Sanders. Just a few months ago, Cowherd was standing at the front of the line, leading the charge against Shedeur. He was among the loudest critics questioning Sanders' readiness for the NFL. Before the season started and throughout those early weeks, he held absolutely nothing back. He dismissed Sanders as an elite quarterback prospect, and he openly mocked the notion that he could thrive at the professional level. It was personal, it was harsh, and it was dead wrong. Now, after Sanders' dominant showing against the Titans, Cowherd is singing a completely different song. Suddenly, he's calling him NFL ready. We are about to break down every single detail of this stunning reversal from the biggest names in sports media. We are going deep into the apology tour that is happening right now. But before we get into the breakdown, I need you to do one thing for me. Smash that like button and subscribe to the channel right now so you never miss the truth about what is happening in the NFL. And I want to know who the real supporters are. I want to see who is riding with us till the end. If you love Shedeur, then comment SS 100% in the comment section below. The about face is undeniable. It is obvious he's scrambling to stay relevant after being so wrong with his initial takes. But here's what really stands out to me. It's not just the praise itself. Anyone can give praise when a player plays well. It's the way he's delivering it. His words are dripping with backpedaling. You can almost hear the humility being forced upon him by Sanders' exceptional play. The same analyst who once doubted Sanders is now racing to get in front of the narrative before he looks even more foolish. There's an unmistakable sense of reluctant respect in his tone. This is not a man who wants to give credit. This is a man who has no choice but to give credit.
You know, my takeaway on him is if you look mostly like you look in college, then I think it's going to work. So I think he's a franchise quarterback.
The same Colin Cowherd who blasted Shedeur Sanders for his decisions and questioned his abilities has now shifted to offering cautious praise. Listen closely to him now. His voice is noticeably softer. It's less certain than before. It carries the weight of regret for his previous harsh commentary. Cowherd recently observed that Sanders is flashing the same commanding presence he displayed in college. He admitted that if Shedeur continues on this trajectory, he could realistically be the Browns' starting quarterback as soon as next season. That's a massive statement coming from a guy who didn't think Shedeur belonged in the conversation just a few weeks ago.
Cleveland was missing 6 to 7 starters and still had over 400 yards in bad weather, 6.5 yards per play.
Colin Cowherd, who previously used Shedeur Sanders' drafts, Colin Cowherd is now presenting evidence of Shedeur Sanders' talent like he discovered it himself. He is finally acknowledging just how impressive the young signal caller has been. He highlighted a key stat that you cannot ignore. Despite being without 4 of 5 offensive starters, Sanders still threw for 400 yards. That's a truly remarkable achievement in the National Football League. You don't do that by accident. Cowherd has openly admitted that Sanders is steadily proving his worth in the NFL. It is crystal clear that the quarterback's performance has humbled him. He no longer feels compelled to tear Sanders down. His earlier criticism has been replaced with a more respectful and even grudging acknowledgement of his abilities. Let's look back at the irony here. Colin Cowherd previously used Shedeur Sanders' draft slide to the 5th round as a teaching moment about humility. He lectured the audience about how Shedeur needed to be humbled. He is now swallowing his own medicine. During the draft process, Cowherd even went after Deion Sanders. He suggested Prime was capitalizing on his son's name and creating a circus. But now, with Shedeur proving himself on NFL Sundays, karma has circled back to haunt him. It is evident he has been humbled by Sanders' impressive development. The teacher has become the student, and the lesson is being taught by Shedeur Sanders on the field.
Humility works in the summer. It works in the fall. Humility works in the spring. Humility works in the winter. Don't gas your kids up too much.
But Colin Cowherd isn't the only one making a U-turn. Dan Orlovsky has executed a complete 180 as well. This might be even more shocking than Cowherd. Not only has Orlovsky issued an apology, but he's gone so far as to break down Shedeur Sanders' game film and declare him the perfect quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. This is the same Dan Orlovsky who before the draft was convinced that Shedeur wouldn't cut it in the NFL. Yet Sanders' clutch performances in high-pressure situations have silenced every doubt. He is proving his success is legitimate, and it is sustainable.
Right there, Dan. Do you like what you've seen from Shedeur so far?
I do. He's playing faster. That's probably the biggest gripe of him coming out of school. So this is the traditional under center bootleg. The big thing is after the fake, you got to snap your head, find that end man. He does.
Dan Orlovsky was formerly one of Shedeur Sanders' harshest critics. He has now issued a public apology, but we cannot forget what was said. Anyone who remembers Orlovsky's scathing comments will recall he labeled Shedeur one of the weakest throwers in the draft class. He seriously questioned his NFL future. He didn't just critique the game, he critiqued the talent level. However, following Sanders' standout performance against the Titans, Orlovsky has completely flipped his position. Now he is praising the quarterback's development and raw talent. This dramatic shift in Orlovsky's opinion marks a significant turning point, as he now views Shedeur as a genuine NFL starter.
Things for Shedeur coming out of the draft that I was critical of was like, I don't think he's a ridiculous athlete, not a high-end athlete, kind of average.
Even throughout the preseason, Dan Orlovsky continued targeting Shedeur Sanders. He criticized Shedeur's media interviews. He painted him as an immature and unfocused quarterback who wasn't mentally prepared for the NFL. It seemed as though Orlovsky harbored a personal grudge against Sanders. He was taking shots at him whenever he could. It felt like he was looking for reasons to dislike the kid. But now, after witnessing Shedeur's elite-level play on the field, Orlovsky is eating crow. He is admitting that Sanders' performances rank among the best he has evaluated. He has completely transformed his assessment of the young quarterback.
Everything that you do when you're a quarterback, I don't care if you're first, second, or third, is a job interview. In that league, every single thing you do.
In his most recent breakdown video, Dan Orlovsky has completely reversed course. He wasn't just complimenting Shedeur Sanders with empty words. He was dissecting key plays from Shedeur's game and pinpointing exactly where he dominated. It is almost surreal that this is the same Dan who relentlessly attacked Shedeur even before he had gotten a legitimate opportunity. Orlovsky appeared almost eager to watch Sanders fail in the NFL. He was constantly firing shots his way. But after witnessing Shedeur's exceptional outing, everything has shifted. Now Orlovsky is ranking Shedeur among the NFL's elite quarterbacks.
3 is the backside right now. Man, that's awesome. We see that from high-level starting quarterbacks in the NFL. Very well done by Shedeur. Changes the protection here.
Let's hear what Dan is saying about Shedeur now. If you go to the timestamp 2.58 to 3.10 in his latest analysis, you will hear him admit that Shedeur Sanders played at a very high level versus the Titans. He breaks it down on NFL Live, and you can see the look of realization on his face. He knows he messed up. He knows he misjudged the talent, and now he has to correct the record on national television. It's a beautiful thing to watch when talent forces the critics to rewrite their scripts.
Why Shedeur Sanders dropped like a rock in the draft and ended up going in the 5th round with the Cleveland Browns, where he's now splitting scout team duties with Bailey Zappi. Deion Sanders admitted the Eagles and the Ravens called his son before the draft, but he didn't want to be a long-term backup. Deion is quoted as saying, "I never sat on the bench and learned a lot." I mean, who learned sitting on the bench? Oh, I don't know. Aaron Rodgers, Brady, Patrick Mahomes behind Alex Smith. So 2 great organizations said, "Would you like to come into our house and learn from us?" Nah, yeah.
Shedeur Sanders' rise from doubted prospect to critic silencer has been absolutely remarkable. Early in his journey, countless voices questioned whether the young quarterback possessed what it takes to succeed in the NFL. Colin Cowherd and Dan Orlovsky were among the most vocal doubters. Cowherd is famous for his sharp critiques, and he dismissed Shedeur's NFL prospects. He even criticized his father, Deion Sanders, for promoting his son's abilities. They tried to make it seem like nepotism. They tried to make it seem like he was only there because of his name. But the tape doesn't lie. and the stats don't care about your feelings.
I'm like, can we just pull the temperature down a little? It's not the end of the world. If he had Caleb Williams' talent, nobody would, I guess, care. But the whole thing is like, bro, you wore New York Giant cleats.
Orlovsky also attacked Shedeur's interviews and playing style. He openly doubted his capacity to make the leap to the professional ranks. They weren't outliers. Plenty of analysts and commentators were skeptical. They framed Shedeur as just another overhyped prospect destined to fall short. Fast forward to today, and Shedeur has completely rewritten the narrative in spectacular fashion. Through his electrifying performances on the field, including standout games despite missing key offensive weapons, he has proven the skeptics dead wrong. The silence from the haters is getting louder every single day.
So a lot of people want to see me fail, and it ain't gonna happen.
Even those who were the loudest in their criticism, like Colin Cowherd and Dan Orlovsky, have been forced to eat their words. Cowherd, who once tore Shedeur apart, now acknowledges his excellence. He points out how impressive it is that Shedeur threw for 400 yards without multiple starting offensive players. Orlovsky, who once was certain that Shedeur wouldn't make it, now recognizes him as one of the league's premier quarterbacks. This reversal is pure poetry justice. It is the ultimate clapback without Shedeur having to say a single word. Shedeur's unshakable confidence and brilliant play have forced even his fiercest critics to acknowledge his talent. The very people who ridiculed him now stand humbled. In many ways, Shedeur's success is a testament to perseverance and belief. He's not just proving doubters wrong, he is demonstrating that undeniable talent will always rise to the surface, no matter how loud the criticism gets. You can hate the name, you can hate the flash, but you cannot hate the production. Shedeur Sanders has shocked the football world, and his story serves as a powerful reminder that sometimes the ultimate response is simply delivering on the field. The fact that both of these major analysts are now linking him to the Cleveland Browns is huge. They are talking about him as a franchise savior. They are talking about him as the guy who can turn a struggling organization around. That is the ultimate respect you can get as a quarterback. To go from he can't play to he's the franchise solution in the span of a few months is unheard of. It shows the mental toughness of Shedeur Sanders. He blocked out the noise, he ignored the Cowherds and the Orlovskys, and he just went to work. So here we are. The narrative has changed. The haters are apologizing, the critics are now fans. It's a new day in the NFL, and Shedeur Sanders is leading with charge. What do you think about Shedeur Sanders' incredible journey? Are you surprised by how quickly he silenced his critics, or did you always believe in his potential? How do you feel about the dramatic change in tone from critics like Colin Cowherd and Dan Orlovsky, who were once so vocal in their doubts? Do you think this reversal represents poetry justice, or does it simply show how rapidly perceptions can shift in the world of sports? We would love to hear your thoughts on Shedeur's story and the way he is proving everyone wrong. Drop a comment below and let's keep the conversation going.